Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won. Yeah. I hope my team they won. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, I'm tired. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Mike Washington should be back on assignment, but it doesn't look like he'll make it until the second segment. Charles Bishop is out on assignment. I was going to give you a bit of a tease as he is doing play-by-play for the FAMU at Southern game, but it is at halftime. We will give you some of those scores as we get into it, but let me give you a proper welcome after I'd say good day to David L. Rhodes as he's joining us, dealing with still some of that weather down there, which hopefully people hadn't forgot about y'all down there, but a little different, a lot of things are happening. But it's good to see that you're doing well, and certainly get well to your son as he's battling a little bit of that flu weather that's coming around us and getting some people sick. With that being said, welcome to episode 786 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NEIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. In short, we just call it the HBCU sports pedagogy. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-hosts, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to KSWH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer, that is Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. Shout out to John in the background driving the truck today. That being said, David, how are you?
Doing good. I mean, I can drive my car now, which is a beautiful thing to see. We're able to see the roads, which is great. The main roads are fine. It's the side roads that are very treacherous. I had an employee there for me that he had to park his car at a grocery store because he could not park near his house.
Oh, wow. How long do you think that type of walk is?
Oh, man, the walk is kind of treacherous because I went to go get a cut and I had to walk about 2 blocks, and ain't too many sidewalks to walk on. I'll put it that way. It's pretty.
Looks like we got Mike coming in as late as usual, but he's in here. Let's go ahead and bring him on stage. We'll bring him on early and won't punish him and make him wait to the second segment. Big brother, you know, he tells you how it is, and when he says move, you're supposed not to ask questions. You say how high. So yes, sir, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing, man?
I'm good.
I'm good. How you doing, David?
Doing good, Mike. You know, it's cold and icy, but I'm here.
You missed it on Tuesday. You probably followed a little bit of that as you travel the Philadelphia area. He showed us all the snow he had up there, and it looked like he was over there where they were doing the Winter Olympics. But it was right here in our backyard. So that was fascinating on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was.
But let's get into some HBCU news of the day. Let me start it off. Y'all gave me an update in terms of Allen women. I'll actually get the name as we get through the show. Have a wrestler that's going to nationals. So I thought that was a big deal. Wanted to shout that out a little bit as we get into it. Want to make sure we do get her name as we give her kudos. Big shout out to Allen and Ja, who got to interview the president and said, make sure you share this information. So we will get the name and do it properly as well. But let me go to you, David, and see what other news that you want to get on the radar.
Shout out to the Beholders, man. Norfolk State wins the 5th straight MEAC men's indoor track and field title. Mathginge and Johnson earned top honors from MEACsports.com. Norfolk State University claimed their program's fifth consecutive MEAC men's indoor track and field championship title on Monday evening at the Virginia Beach Sports Center. Norfolk State Sponsorship collected 125.5 team points to secure the 2026 MEAC title. Delaware State finished second with 106 points. South Carolina State finished third with 101 points. Daniel Mathines was named the 2026 men's indoor track and field outstanding runner in the meet after amassing 30 individual points. Christopher Johnson earned outstanding field athlete honors with 20 points. Spartans head coach Kenneth Giles was named outstanding coach, capturing his 44th MEAC title as a head coach and further solidifying his distinction as the most decorated track and field head coach in conference history. Wow, that is amazing.
That is
amazing, man.
Done.
Oh my good grief, good job. Christopher Johnson, a senior from Willingboro, New Jersey, earned most outstanding field athlete honors after placing second place in the shot put on Sunday and winning gold in the men's weight throw on Monday, helping lead Delaware State to a second place team finish. So shout out to them, man. Wow, 44 titles is amazing.
Yeah, it makes you pause for a minute. Good update there, David. Let me get back to the young lady freshman, Ice Sevier. That's ISIS SEVER, earned second team all conference and a NCAA qualifier berth. Shout out to Allen and the freshman getting it done out the box. Big Mike, what do you have for us? What do you want to share with us today?
Man, ain't got no news. I mean, nobody. I ain't got no news.
That's a first.
I ain't got no
news.
News. So I saw this, and it's on a couple of media outlets as well. But Grambling and Coach Mickey Joseph agreed to a contract extension. So he'll continue to lead Grambling football for the foreseeable future. What that really means is that the school and him agreed to a 2-year contract extension that will take the Tigers head coach through the 2027 season. I talked to a friend of mine who is Grambling alumni who said that there's also a performance clause in there that's not stated in any of the media or whatever. So yes, they secured him through the 2027 season, but I wonder how many coaches have that performance clause in their contracts. So Joseph replaced former NFL coach Hugh Jackson prior to the 2024 season. He holds, I believe, a 12-12, I think, record. I'm kind of going off the top of my head. I'm having computer problems. In 6-10 in SWAC. And the Grambling, I think he's 7-5 or 76, 7-6. So, Grambling, came out with a statement. This reflects, their belief, for the future, for Grambling, what's in the best interest of Grambling. Like all schools, they came out with statements saying that they're committed to building a program defined by, discipline, championships, yada. So that was the athletic director, Travion Scott, who said that in a press release or whatever. So Coach Joseph's leadership continues to move them coming in. I'm reading a statement forward, and we are confident that the foundation being laid will position them for success. So they wanted to sincerely thank a lot of people. They wanted to, of course, thank Tiger Nation. So I think that's big that they've secured him through 2027. So we'll see what the future lies for Grambling. So
yeah, Mike just sounds real enthusiastic about that. I will say this, I'll let you, Dave, get in there, but that 2-year deal, that's the Carlos.
That 2-year deal.
He don't believe anything but 2 years. Shake it like your mama gave you 2 years. That's it. I was like, you can't even pick up a kid in 2 years. David, what you got to say about that?
It's going to be March next week. And they're just now announcing the extension now?
Exactly.
Like that's my thing. Like
timing.
Like what if he decided, you know what? I ain't gonna do this. What am I gonna do now? I'm just trying to understand. like if he would have walked up and was like, you know what? I'm all set. I'm gonna go be the running backs coach for Ball State or something. Like, what you gonna do?
Right.
What you gonna do? All your players can
and
go in the portal. Like they get 15 days, hop in the portal. Like you had no choice in this matter.
the timing, the spring, and maybe I'll ask Doc, how many contracts? Because it's not what you say; it's what you don't say. I know I know for a fact. Now, the only reason I know it because I know a couple of people that are Grambling alumni supporters, and they said, "Man, there's some incentives and there's some performance clauses in that contract that you were not hearing about." I'm sure other coaches have them, and I'm sure Dr. Cavil can elaborate more on that. But yeah, 2 years.
All I would say is Dr. Scott is a tough supervisor to work for when he gets. He's like, we got you good for 2, and I'm gonna put some centers in here. Take it a little.
But what if he would have left it? That's the thing. Like, what if he would have left it?
Yeah, they would have.
They would have been a world of hurt.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe they knew something we didn't know. Let me give a shout out to Texas Southern men. They claimed 3rd consecutive SWAC men's indoor track and field title for the SWAC. This is after Coach Duncan did a 3-peat on the outdoor. So, boy, he's living his best life. The demise of his early retirements was set certainly too high, but he is getting done as Texas Southern Tigers claim 2026 SWAC men's indoor track and field title on Sunday at Birmingham Crossplex, winning a spectacular fashion as the championship also marked 3 consecutive titles for the Tigers. Tigers amassed 108 total points at the event behind strong field performances on day 1 of the event, impressive individuals and team performance on day 2. Jackson State followed with 97 points and FAMU in 3rd at 82, finished 2nd and 3rd respectively, as I said. Arkansas Pine Bluff claimed 1st place in the 4x4 meter relay event, bringing an official close to the final day of competition. Texas Southern coach Clyde Duncan was named men's indoor track and field coach of the year for his efforts in leading the Tigers to the title. Southern's Michael Fulton was named the men's most outstanding field performer after tallying 16 points individual points. Florida A&M's Kirk Dawkins was named the men's most outstanding track performer after contributing 22 points for the Rattlers. So just wanted to give a little update there in terms of what that looks like. Shout out to Coach Clyde Duncan. Certainly was a colleague of mine in the Department of Health, Communities, Island, and Sports Studies. Last year, he said he's hanging that side up as he was going to focus on the championship as he now coaches both men's and women's. So shout out to the senior, Clyde, Coach Duncan. One time was a world record holder in the 100 meters, just for you all, Hall of Fame in multiple sports. Big time. Run.
What was his time in the 100 meter? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'll get that for you. It's on his wall here, a little picture.
On his wall, yes.
I was
a 100 meter person many moons ago, so I just want to know what his 100 meter time was.
Oh man, you out here trying to do these comparisons, Mike. Trying out here compare yourself, Mike.
Cross comparisons, so I'm trying to. Hey, where would I fall?
9.3.
We flew flying.
1964.
That's 100 yards. That's 100 meters, right?
8-meet record was 9.5, also in 1964.
Okay, I'm not even gonna throw my little time out there. Woo, God.
His National High School Hall of Fame.
As soon as my man said world record, I don't think you knew he was flying.
Career highlights: won 9 state titles in Iowa, 100 to 24 40-yard dashes. Yeah, the brother is fast. He won 9 state titles over that period of time. So shout out to Clyde Duncan Sr. That could do it on the track and then off the track as a coach. Yeah, kudos.
That's the real Clyde the Glide. I'm saying 9.1. Good Lord.
He sure was glad down that track. Obviously, we mentioned this also on Tuesday, but a little more depth. Norfolk State wins 5th straight MEAC men's indoor track and field title. Matheens and Johnson earned top honors for MEAC sports. Give a little love there. Outstanding coach was Kenneth Giles of Norfolk State. Outstanding runner was Daniel Nathinch of Norfolk State. Outstanding field athlete was Christopher Johnson of Delaware State, as you mentioned as well. So I wanted to give a little love there. Obviously, coming down to the finals of CIAA and the men's, women's, no major upsets. We'll maybe get a chance to kind of give you.
I think the Claflin beating Virginia State was a pretty big one.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I think that was big. Yeah.
I was gonna say it was major, but you're right. They were. I can see that. It certainly was an upset from that perspective. But everything else seems to be going of course. I did want to give the breakdown of the divisions as you got in there, just so you know. To your point, Virginia State jumped over Virginia late. So they were the number 1 seed, while Virginia Union was number 2 seed, even though a lot of places have them ranked higher. 3 was Bluefield State. 4 was Bowie State. Number 5 was Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. 6 in that northern division was Elizabeth City State. Then in the southern divisions, Fayetteville State has clinched itself into the finals there. Number 2, Claflin. 3 is Johnson C. Smith. Number 4 is Shaw. Number 5 is Livingstone. And number 6 is Winston-Salem State. And, you know, they have changed coaches. And some folks is recruiting a big-time alum. I don't know how real that is, but it was interesting talk. Got people lathered up. With that being said, let's take our first break, come back on the other side. Let's talk about that mid-major top 5 on the men's side this week in week number 8 and see what these two gentlemen have to say about the top rankings as we move forward. We'll be right back after this first break.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
And we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
And what about HBCUs? You mentioned.
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you got to make sure they're properly funded. You know, the real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs. And Comcast did not accept it. And that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay. That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why didn't you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
All right. I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay.
There's a shot. Right. It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. And all you guys at BCSN, we really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball, So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Bill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. I have with me today Big Mike and David L. Rhodes. Kudos to Big Mike as he got back into the lab, allowing some of that work to take a break for a minute. With that being said, let me give you some updates before we get into this mid-major ranking for the men's. I'll give you scores on the women's side. OVC, Independence. We have Tennessee State losing big to Southeast Missouri. The score is 62-29. That's 6:08 left in the third. And the MEAC. Let's see what they're doing over there, David. I know you keep an eye on them every once in a while just to show them a little bit of love.
I will. I haven't checked the MEAC scores. I'm looking right now. I'm watching A&T and UNC Wilmington right now. They're playing.
What you got?
It's tied 11-11. 12:26 left in the first half.
All right, it's early. That's the men.
Yeah, it's the men. They're A&T's 13.5 point.
Right? Yeah, women's Friday and Sunday.
Yeah. Men's Thursday. 13.5 point underdogs tonight. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see who's gonna cover. Maybe pull an upset.
You think they'll cover?
I think they'll cover. They played them tough the first time. They played them tough in the opener, beginning of the year.
Sometimes it's that part of the year that you got to take what you can get. I get it. I can relate on the women's basketball side for Prairie View. Texas Southern is slid really big. We'll get in that score a little later. But Howard women are doing what they are doing as they trailed early, but they're on top of Coppin State 48-37. No worries. 2:26 left in the third. Close one there between Eastern Shore and Central as Maryland Eastern Shore leads 31-30. North Carolina Central with 5:31 left in the third. In fact, got an update as we go. 32-31. Back and forth as Central. The Eagles make a basket. In the other game, Norfolk State is in a close one with Morgan State. I
warned y'all about that one.
7:08 left in the fourth, as David told us to keep an eye on it, and I will do just that if that game score continues. Delaware State is out big over South Carolina State as the Lady Bulldogs continue to struggle, but the Hornets are getting it done 41-19 with 3:20 left in the third. Let's go to the SWAC and see if we can get you some updates. Their games start a little bit early as you'll have your double headers to close out the season. It used to be showcased Thursday, but not so much at the end of the year. With that being said, you have a matchup right here. I'll be heading over to the gym right after this as we are honoring our honor students as well. So Texas Southern is losing to Alcorn State 59-46. 7:29 left in the fourth. Southern is up big over FAMU, 48-26. Prairie View's tied with Jackson State, 16-16, 7:52 left in the second. Can Prairie View get that long-awaited win in conference play? Bethune-Cookman and Grambling do not start off until the 7:30. With that being said, let me share this a little bit.
Initial raise into the paint, another paint point for the Lady Jags.
See if we can get Charles' voice on here for a minute.
Looking, nothing doing. McCarthy on the perimeter, gets in the lane, jab step, nothing doing. Lady Jaguars clear.
Oh, Charles, sound pretty good there. I give him a little credit.
Yeah, I
can let you make it. You do kind of work like that.
He's down in broadcast Hall of Fame style. Yeah, he coming with it, man.
Let's get back to the business here.
As somebody who's commentated video games before, that is a hard thing to do, guys. It is not easy to do.
Man, the only thing I've commentated was
you'll be embarrassed. It's like doing a show, though.
The
only thing I've commentated was lacrosse games. Radio. I've commentated lacrosse games, but this is much faster.
Just a little. Well, let's bring up the poll ranking for mid-major. We do have a team that dropped out this week, so we'll have a little change within the poll ranking that we didn't see on the women's side for either mid-major or major. Miles Golden Bears drop out after a tough week, 19-7, 17-7 in terms of what they got going on. Let's look at those receiving votes, those next five out, if you would. Virginia State Trojans, 19-9, 12-4. As we see, that goes a little bit of update there on the women's side, but the men are getting it done. Clark Atlanta Panthers at 21-7 as they got a win this week. Obviously, the poll stopped after Monday, but we did give you the update, so you'll see their record as of 2 o'clock today. Miles Golden Bears, 19-7, 17-7 with 23 points. Stillman Tigers at 18-9, 10-2, 21 points. And Tougaloo Bulldogs, 17-8, 10-2, 17 points. Stillman and Tougaloo out of the HBCU AC. Let's get into the top 5 and see where the team drops in. In fact, they do it real quick. Morehouse Maroon Tigers jump back into the top 5, 18-9, 17-5, 38 points, as they were not ranked last week, as they kind of do the back and forth, it seems. Let's see if they can hold steady and even move up the top 5 this week in week 9. But as you see it in week 8, we have the Tuskegee Golden Tigers sit at 20-7, 19-5, 43 points. Moving down one slot, though. They still had that 20-win mark, which is special on anybody's season. Moving to number 3, we have the Langston Lions, 23-6, 17-5. 2 first-place votes, 60 points, as they slipped ranking this week, though, bringing us to number 2, the Virginia Union Panthers. After they closed out the season and couldn't hold on for a regular season division title, they're still up there in the mix at 24-4, 13-3, 3 first-place votes with 66 points. They do drop a spot, meaning we have a new number 1 this week. Fayetteville State Broncos sit at 21-6, 14-2, 5 first-place votes, 75 points. They move all the way up to number 1. They're moving in the CIAA. Can they do the double-double, division championship, and the big crown of the CIAA? It should be interesting to see. But as we're talking right now, we're just going to talk with the top 5. So I'm going to let Mike in here and see what he thinks in terms of the top 5 in week number 8.
So I'm going to say something that goes completely against the grain.
Uh-oh.
And I'm just going to ask, why is Virginia State and Virginia Union not in the top 5? And does Fayetteville really feel like a top 5 team or number 1 team? I'm sorry, number 1 team.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I guess I got to ask, why is Virginia State not in here? So I based my opinion on a couple of things, and I like your poll, but this one's a little bit off to me. I love you to death. You know, he really do love you. Did I mention that? So Virginia State. I'm sorry, we are talking about men's basketball, right? On a 10-game winning streak, right? If you look at statistics, Fayetteville is the only team there that's in the bottom 10 in defense. And you look at their offense to defense ratio, they have the worst. So if I'm looking at their whole body of work and who they played, I'm sorry, they just do not feel like a number 1 team to me. So, I would move them down for a couple of reasons, but I just got to ask, why is Virginia State and Virginia Union not in this poll?
You know the rules of the game. I know you've been out a while, but if you're putting Virginia State in, who are you taking out?
I know this is gonna make you mad, but I think Langston is a number 16.
Ooh-wee. No love for the NAIA programs. I get it.
I love down. No, don't get me wrong. Don't no judgment. This safe zone, right? This safe zone. But
I don't know when this zone has ever been safe. Especially
safe zone. But when you playing, I'm sorry, you can't compare schedules equally from a data statistics. But when you're playing science and arts, and then when you're playing John Brown, yes, you're winning, but let's compare apples to apples here. So I think Langston has played really well. They got a great comparable record. Statistically, they're doing well in the conference. They're tops in scoring, but I gotta say Langston's a number 6, and I think you put Virginia Union and Virginia State in the top 5.
Got it. Well, that's what I asked you, so I'm not going to take it more than that. Mm-hmm. That being said, Dave, where are you with the top 5?
I'm not as mad as Mike with the top 5. Then I think it's fine. I can understand his argument about trying to get Virginia State in there, but you got to push somebody out, and that's going to be tough.
No.
I would probably push out Morehouse, but
Okay.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the 5. I'm not mad at the 5 at all. I mean,
stuff.
Virginia State got an opportunity to prove it in the tournament, right? Like
Yeah,
they're already the
that's-
semis. So
That's where it is. That's where it is. Get it done
Yep.
there. And that final ranking always helps when you can put a crown in terms of go at least deep in the tournament, always makes a final statement. With that being said, let's take our next break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get into the third segment with the major division and see if what's the fuss in terms of the major division rankings on the men's side for week number 8. We'll be right back after this next break.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image.
Test the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Ville with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We have none other than Big Mike and David L. Rhodes. With that being said, as you see, we get into those with a dropping out. I did want to give you one couple of updates real quick as we will start looking at that. Carlos Brown wanted to make sure I share with you all that the Southern women are serving up a quart of Creole gumbo on the FAMU Rattlers. He made specific to those in our text box that Brian Fulford, AD Drew, and Kevin Rozier knew how he felt. So just want to give him a shout out for that framework as they are up 58-34. 57 seconds left in the third.
You know what we call that, Dr. Cavil? You know what we call that? That's a lot to a little bit. That's what we call that. It's a lot.
That is a lot to a little bit.
A lot to a little bit.
Another lot to a little bit is the Braves. Oklahoma State Braves are up 66 to the Tigers of Texas Southern, 47 points. 3:51 left in the fourth. Hey, down there on the hill, Prairie View.
Lead. 4-point lead.
Half with a lead, 26-22 with 2:20 left in the second.
Okay.
Let's have a drink on that one because I don't know how long that was.
You don't know how long that gonna last.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Let me get you another lot to a little bit as we go into Tennessee State. 79-41 with 34 seconds left. Man, can we get that game over it close enough? Sneakershop.com. King Brandon. What the men doing great. Women.
Listen, we had a long discussion yesterday on the Indy Report about the women, but all our lady programs are strong. Yeah. Now I asked him, is he ready to is he panicking yet? And he's not quite yet ready, but he's getting very, very close with the ladies.
All right, we have Howard stretching out a little bit over Coppin State, 59-50 with 7:10 left. You have Central pulling away a little bit from Maryland Eastern Shore, 43-36. That's 20 seconds left in the third. At 59-50 with 7:10 left in the fourth. And Delaware State has gained a 30-point lead over South Carolina State. A lot to a little bit is 8:56 with 4 in the fourth. In the game to keep your eyes on, Norfolk State has a little bit of control. 67-60. The big thing for the Spartans is there's only 1:19 left in the fourth. So it looks like they have found a way to pull away a little late in that game. We'll see. Can they hold on? There's still some time left, and you know what they say. As you saw, Jaw brought up the team dropping out this week on the men's side, so we can bring that back up, and we'll get right into it. North Carolina Central Eagles fall this week, 6-5. They've had one of those seasons all year long where they play some good ball, at times not so good ball, tough loss as they get out and finding their way outside of their top 5. Let's look at those receiving votes. They had another loss also last night, Wednesday, so that has even dropped them out of the receiving votes in North Carolina Central. You're talking about joy to no joy. Norfolk State Spartans, though, 7-4, 51 points, right on the outside of their top 5. UAP beat Golden Lions to kind of bounce back after a tough week a week ago. They got back this past week as they are 9-5. Alabama A&M Bulldogs slowly climbing up, 9-6, 33 points, looking good at doing it. Jackson State, as they are solid in the mix, 8-6, 31, but they have a big one down there at Prairie. Should be interesting to follow that game. And then here at Texas Southern on Saturday. Speaking of Texas Southern, you have them in the mix of 8-7, trying to figure out still how they lost to Mississippi Valley with the inability to get the ball from underneath the rim. But that is in the books. Shout out to Mississippi Valley for getting their first D1 win, which included a conference win. But we got essentially a top 10 matchup on Saturday, 9-10, if you would, Texas Southern and Jackson State. So it should be interesting there. With that being said, let's get into the top 5. Top 5 is number 5. Southern Jaguars, 9-5, 52 points. They were not ranked. Got back to some wins. And as Central falls out, Southern finds their place in the top 5, and it is at number 5. Bringing us to number 4, Morgan State Bears, 8-3, 60 points. Again, this was collected and compiled before they got a solid win yesterday, close and then pulled out late. Morgan State Bears are looking more like they are for real. 8-3 with 60 points. They move up a ranking spot in number 4, as they are actually tied in the conference race now with number 3, which is the Howard Bison. That has certainly solidified themselves at the top of the conference after a great non-conference schedule and some big wins. They started off slow in conference play, but they are back where many people thought they would be, which is at the top of the conference. Surprisingly, it's tied with Morgan State. But they offer 2 first-place votes with 95 points, but they stay at the 3 position. Bringing us to number 2 this week. This was a little bit controversial last week, but they stay in the 2 spot. Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, 12-3. They do get back to their winning ways, 3 first-place votes, 99 points, so they grab a first-place vote in the mix. But they remain in the 2 spot, meaning, as you can deduct by now, the number 1 team, second consecutive week. Tennessee State Tigers sit at 13-5, 5 first-place votes, 105 points. Remaining number 1, big win statement they had this week, but they have to find a way to close it down. They are tied for first place in OVC. Can they keep the tie or get it alone? With the closing schedule, you'll know one way or the other if they can get it done because they play the top part of the conference. So it'll be fascinating to see what that means. Again, they made a statement this past weekend. Can they continue to make the statement? That is number 5 this week, with Tennessee State holding on to that number 1 ranking. That being said, let me go to you, Dave, first in this segment in terms of what are your thoughts on the top 5?
I believe that Tennessee State is the best basketball team in HBCU sports right now on the men's side. So I'm happy with that. I'm struggling with Howard and Bethune. I think that's the only thing I'll probably swap.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the one that I was swapping. I think Bethune is legit, but I think Howard is playing on a different stage,
They are playing
different level
really
right
well.
now.
Man.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
I can't deny Tennessee State right now. Like I think the debate would be Tennessee State Howard who will win, but Howard's playing so well. I don't think I can put them at 3. They got to at least be 2.
I thought Tennessee State was really solid, Dave, and I like that. I've always had my hesitation with. I got to see them live, so it was a little different. So I have that in my memory bank when I was there in Huntsville and saw Alabama A&M Bulldogs put them down. But I think the way they played the last 2 weeks, if you would, they had some kind of up and down play a couple of weeks that had you concerned. Is Tigers for real? But what they did this last week, for sure, solidified it for me. And I think it helped the fact that Alabama A&M is actually playing well also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not only did you just lose, you lost to a team that was playing really well, and they were playing that game at home. So I like your points you make with Tennessee State. Tigers, interesting that you said you would put Howard over Bethune-Cookman. This is the week-to-week poll, and you said Howard is playing good basketball this week. So good points. Let me go to you, Mike. What are your thoughts in terms of top 5?
I completely agree with him. And that was my first thing. The first thing I saw when I saw this poll. Howard looks like they're playing like a better basketball team. You look at their plus margin, their +5, +6, plus margin. They're scoring average 75 points per game, but they're allowing their opponent 67, 68. Most teams, there's only a 2-point differential. That means Howard is playing some defense a lot better. If you look at and I hate to look at it from week to week, I look at the body of work. And then you look at Bethune, and no offense to Bethune, but my goodness, where do they fall in? Where do they shake out statistically? They're not scoring 80 points a game. They're scoring 75 points a game, but they're allowing their opponents 77. They're the one team that's allowing their opponents over the course of the season to score on average 2 to 3 points more. They're not in the top whatever in rebounding. No, they're in the tops in rebounding, but in field goal percentage, 3-point whatever, they're nowhere in the tops. Whereas you look at Howard's, they're in the tops if you look at field goals, 3-point field goals, and free throws. So Howard looks, feels, and plays like a better team. That's why I think Howard's a better team than Bethune. I have no problem. I think far and beyond Howard should be above Bethune in that. Morgan State, you can make some arguments. You're going to make it also a good solid argument for Southern because their offensive scoring to opponent percentage allowed points is also pretty good. But I think Howard is a really good team. I would love to see, if it was possible, Howard play Tennessee State.
I'll say this: the gap between 3 and 4 is wide. It is very wide. Like it is very wide for me. I think it's clear who the top 3 teams is. At that point, you're just trying to argue about who's who in the zoo with the top 3. But after that, it is wide. After number,
I don't know. The one other, this may be a wider, but Alabama A&M is playing some good. If you look at field goal percentage and that they're made in the last 2 weeks, they're making some strides. So I wonder at what point will they come into the fold? Will that show its ugly head in the tournament or what? But
I agree with you. This week would be big for Alabama A&M to make a real statement in terms of just how hot they are, which will be reflected next week. But I like the way you all are breaking this down. Good remarks across the board. Fascinating when you think about what this looks like. Should be interesting for a close of the season. One of these teams, if they don't get the big prize, they could get a bid to the Black College Championship. So that would be fascinating in its own right. Maybe we'll get some of those top matchups that we're looking at, which certainly should have some interest. With that being said, let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side, get into some our last updates, and then we'll get some of your thoughts on some key matchups in the Saturday to see what that looks like, or even some matchups tonight on the men's side to see if any of that is teasing you out. We'll be right back after this last break.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, as he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Bill inside the HBCU Sports Lab. As you see, we have the professor. That's Professor Big Mike, Professor David Rhodes, the Champ D, in the building, as he is also referred to. With that being said, we do have a final. Norfolk State gets it done over Morgan State 69-60. Continue their climb in terms of the standings on the women's side. Howard is up 65-57, 3:16 left in the fourth. Central and Eastern has come knotted up as they're both tied at 45, 6:31 left in the fourth. Delaware continues to pound South Carolina State 60-28. That is with 4:10 left in the fourth. On to the OVC. That game will not come over close enough, but Southeast Missouri is up 82-46 over Tennessee State with 5:53 left in the fourth. Yeah.
Oh.
That's the appropriate face there for real. In the SWAC, let's see what we have. We have a final. Alcorn State has defeated Texas Southern 68-54. Prairie View is up at the half. That's a good sign. 28-26.
Doc.
So get another half to close it out.
Doc,
So my Aggies, I said they're gonna cover the spread. They better pick it up fast, man. We're down 38-22 against UNCW right now in the first half. 2:23 left. So
well, this will bring a smile to your face in terms of your former Rattlers that you battled against many years many different sports, particularly football, as things kind of came to a close before both of you all's programs left the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Southern is up over FAMU 76-50. A lot to a little. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the fourth in that game. With that being said, what are some of the matchups you're looking at tonight or Saturday? I'll give them to you. Obviously, we just talked about them in terms of tonight on the men's side. It's FAMU Southern, Jackson State Prairie View, Alcorn State, Texas Southern, Bethune-Cookman, and Grambling. Saturday, that means you get a full slate of games because you have some of those rivalry games, so I'll mix those in here. But you have Alcorn flipping and going to Prairie View. You have Bethune-Cookman at Southern, FAMU at Grambling, Jackson State at Texas Southern. We tease that out as a 9-10 matchup. You also have the rivalry games where you have Mississippi Valley at Pine Bluff. And you have you have Alabama State at Alabama A&M, which could be a very intriguing matchup. Starting with you, Mike, what are your thoughts in terms of men's side SWAC games? What's on your mind? What interests you between those two games? Thursday night tonight?
You got Saturday. I guess I'm gonna go to Saturday. That Bethune Southern matchup, and that's in Baton Rouge, aka Red Stick, Louisiana.
Yeah.
I think you got the number 1 offense in Southern against the number 4 offense in Bethune, and then you have the number 4 defense in Bethune against the number whatever. I think Southern's number 6. So there's an equal matchup there. The other thing I will want to see is kind of field goal percentage. So if you look at field goal percentage, Bethune is tops in the league. They're at 46% field goal percentage. Southern's at 45%. So both teams can shoot. And then you look at, the opponent, what they're allowing their opponents. Bethune seems to hold its opponents to, roughly a 43%, whereas Southern holds theirs to 44%. Again, the numbers tell you that they're equally matched, even though we rank Bethune significantly higher. I think that in Baton Rouge, this is one that potentially Southern can come out on. I don't know if you want my MEAC version game of the week or not. Are we going to wait or what?
Yeah, we're going to get into MEAC. I'm going to get Dave's thought on the SWAC, and then we'll come back and give you an update on the MEAC as well. Give you a chance to dig in that because you're right. You got to see what's going over there in that division as it's tightening up and looking interesting. Even though y'all don't seem to have much thought about Morgan State, but we'll see. We'll give you that chance. David, what are your thoughts? What matchup is keen in your window? You agreeing with Mike, or are you going in a different direction?
I agree with Mike, but I want to give a different game. I'm looking at Alabama A&M, and Alabama State because when you talk about a rivalry game, those type of games, anything can happen, and it could pretty much ruin Alabama A&M's comeback.
Yeah,
so there's going to be some level of motivation coming out of the Hornets to ruin their seeding. Because now that all 12 teams are in the tournament.
Yeah, I chose one game, but if I had to choose a second watch out game, that one right there is going to be, that's a rivalry game. So I agree. I completely 100% that's a watch out game. Even though you got Jackson State playing Southern, that's a good game. But that Alabama, I completely agree. That's a watch out game.
It's going to be rocking in Huntsville too. I know it will be. It's going to be rocking in there.
Let me go to the MEAC games. These are Saturday games. None night. They stand with their showcase games for the women. So Saturday games has Howard at Morgan State, North Carolina Central at Delaware State, South Carolina State at Maryland Eastern Shore, and Norfolk State at Coppin State. On Monday, that means you have Norfolk State at Morgan State, South Carolina State at Delaware State, Central at Maryland Eastern Shore, and Coppin State at Howard. David, sticking with you, MEAC-wise, what has your interest this week?
The rivalry game that nobody wants to say they're rivals. Morgan State and Howard. Yeah. That's the game, man. The weekend for Morgan State's going to be fascinating too because they got to go against Howard and Norfolk. So that is going to be. We're going to find out whether or not they're going to end up winning this championship or not over the weekend. But
I agree.
But Morgan State and Howard's the game to watch on the men's side, and I know folks are amazed, including Morgan State fans are amazed that they're actually being successful. So I know they should be enjoying the success. I mean, I'll be picking on folks not winning championships, man. Morgan State, they need one. They need one soon too.
Yeah. They can at least stop that argument for a little while. Mike, where are you with the MEAC? You had an interest of saying check out the MEAC as well. What were you thinking?
No, I'm thinking the same one for the reason, but for a little bit on different spin. Because every year, you remember that and coming to America, and they in the barbershop scene, you had one of the barbers say, "There they go, there they go." Every time somebody got to bring up such. I feel that way about Morgan State. There they go. Every time they get a few wins, somebody want to bring up Morgan State should be this. So this is a top matchup. But let me educate you to something. Howard is scoring.
Howard is really good. I'm not gonna
exactly. Howard is scoring 75 points a game. They're allowing, I said it earlier, 67, 68 point differential. Morgan State's number 3 in scoring, and they're scoring pretty good. Field goal percentage is up there, 45%. But they are one of the few teams. And I'm looking here that allow their opponents on the span of the season to score more than they do offensively. Data point number 1. Then we look at field goal percentage. Morgan State is in the tank. They got 4 people above them in the draft. So yes, they're showing good, but I'm kind of like that dude in the barbershop and come to me. There they go. There they go. Everybody got to bring out Rocky Marciano. They are the Rocky Marciano of this league. So don't get. Yes, okay, they're good. I'm like, okay, yes, you get gold star for Morgan State, but Howard's good.
I'm gonna put it to you in perspective. I just talked to you guys about how A&T is getting the brakes beat out of them out of UNCW right now.
Yes.
Howard beat UNCW early this year. They went undefeated again in the CAA this year. They played 4 CAA games, and they went undefeated in the CAA during out of conference play.
Yeah,
and UNCW's got a top 100 net right now.
I didn't even get
they're
the
legit.
schedule.
I'm not.
So I didn't even get the strength of schedule, and I was going to bring that up. I didn't get the strength of schedule. So that's another data point. So
if there's an HBCU that gets out of the 16 seed, it would be Howard. But I just think they might have had too many tough losses.
Completely.
Because I think if they would have beat Yale,
the strongest team that could get out of the
if they could have held on to Yale, we'll be having a different discussion right now. They're good.
Yeah,
they're good. Man.
A lot more people on it. Mike, you won't believe this. You talking about Marciano? I said down go Marciano on Tuesday, talking about the fact that Savannah State knocked off the #1 baseball program in Tampa.
Yes.
So we highlighted and showed the last out on video as they beat them 7-0, shut them out. So big time win. So amazing how that's going around. Let me close on this last article. Check this out, gentlemen. This is from the Pittsburgh Courier, February 20th, 1965. Think about that on your clock, 1965. 61 years ago, almost to the day, February 10th, 20th. Today is the 26th. So, Gaither, Nix, Whitby, Harris. Only 4 of the 1925-1930 heroes survived depleted coaching ranks. This is written by Rick Roberts. A short ramble into Pittsburgh Courier files last week revealed the fact that only 4 of the first wave of Negro college-trained kids, end quote, grid monogram winners graduated between 1925 and 1930 who came forth to challenge then existing reliance on white college-trained coaches still are serving as head coaches. In other words, when Jake Gaither, Billy Nix, Ox Clemens, Mark Cardwell, Charlie Clark, Frank Forbes of Morehouse, Mel Whitby, Tom Harris, Artis Graves, Vernon McCain, Zip, Gales, Forrest Kelly, Ralph Robinson, Gaston F. Lewis, Squat Johnson, Charlie McPherson, Rufus Lewis, Tubby Johnson, Duke Williams, Skip Hazard, Bob Ellis, et al. Took their baccalaureates during the last half of the 20s. All them celebrated Negro poachers. Accepting Hampton trained Walter Chief Atkins, were missionary exponents of football techniques as taught to the squads of white colleges. The greats were Tuskegee, Cleve Abbott's out of South Dakota, Hampton's Gideon Smith, Michigan, Wilberforce Harris Graves out of Michigan State, Clark's Sam Taylor out of Northwestern, Howard's Red Watson out of Springfield, Virginia Union's Harold Martin out of Norwich, Bluefield Harry's Jefferson out of Ohio University, Wiley's Patriarchal Fred Long out of Milliken, West Virginia State's Adolphus Hamlin out of Knox, and Morehouse's perennial E.T. Harvey Colgate. There were others, of course, but the foregoing Graves, Abbott, Gene Smith, Martin, Watson, Jefferson, Long were 1921 to 1932 U.S. crowns shared among themselves. Just ahead of Gaither generation of Negro College graduates, still in a state of incubation since 1921, were Eddie Hurt, Arnett Mufford, Henry A. King, destined to respectively bedazzle the 30s, 40s, and 50s with consecutive winning streaks of 55, 44, and 27 contests. Fourth to win the big hobble was Zip Gales at Langston in 1939. He was a Morehouse 25 immortal at the end. $1 million gymnasiums honor Hurt and the late King, partly because Hurt became the first Negro college graduate to win a national championship, as he went 9-0, 3-16-6 overall at Morgan in 1933, to be quickly followed by King, who was 10-0, 3-19-2 overall during that period, in 1934 at Kentucky State, and in 1935 by Mumford, 9-0, 235-39 at Texas College. Their terrific 1-2-3 in a memorable milestone. The quintets inquired the building Gaither Knicks generation, which has resisted the latter-day challenges of Ohio State trained Bill Bell, Columbia taught Manuel Rivero, Burt Flygott, Springfield's Dr. Eddie Jackson, as well as Ray Kemp and others. Beginning with Hurt's 1933 breakthrough, the Negro College trainees have won 26 of the last 32 national championships. Again, this is 1965. The skin having last been broken in 1945 by Long's 10-0 season, as he finished 346-16 in terms of the record during that time with the Wildcats. Nick's first of 1925 to 1930 parade to win a national title claim in 1933, began his head coaching tour in 1925 after having graduated at Morris Brown the preceding June. By contrast, Gaylor did not resume ringmaster stature until 18 years after his 1927 graduation. Kentucky State's Mel Wilby, long celebrated as the most astute fan quarterback of all time, had to wait 13 years before taking over Frankfort 2 seasons ago. Still another, the late Mark Cardwell, waited 20 seasons after 1925 graduation to take charge at Institute, West Virginia, where he became the lone post-war coach to pilot one-term championship in both football and basketball. The coaches who first came on in the 30s, heroes like Gramblin's Eddie Robinson, North Carolina College's Herman Riddick, Virginia Union's Tom Harris, recently retired McCain, and the late Ralph Hogmog Robinson have yet to attain their true zenith, although Eddie was national king in 1955. Only national championship mentors who graduated in the 40s thus far are Howard Gentry at Tennessee State in 1956 and John Merritt, present Tennessee State coach, who triumphed at Jackson State in 1962. What set the article in motion, however, is the fact that Gaither, SIAC champions, Widlow, who came within seconds of wrecking Merritt's last Turkey Day before bowing 31-30 in Nashville. The reigning two-year grid overlord Knicks and the dean of the CIAA football professors, Riddick, remain active among the hungry horde of kids who began replacing Caucasians taught masters 30 years ago. Some of them, like Dr. Graves, A&T, Dr. Forbes, Morehouse, Dr. Buck Nielsen, of Hampton, and others, for competitive assignments in favor of dignified chairs. This is something I've been doing of late as I'm doing some digging in the archives of the Pittsburgh Courier, so I thought I'd bring that out. And so we'll have that every once in a while. Any final thoughts on that update, just to share our history and how deep it goes. Again, this is an article that came out of February 20th, 1965, but goes back to 1920 and 1930. So I thought it was fabulous as doing that. I'm trying to do some homework to look at some basketball records. So anybody that has that out there for the SWAC basketball records or any other conference from like the 20s to the 50s, please let me know and send me an email. jafus.cavil@tsu.edu. Again, it's jafus.cavil@tsu.edu. Mike, any final thoughts?
Yes. Did we give I know I missed a couple of sessions or a few. Did we give any tributes to Jesse Jackson?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did it.
We do know.
Moment of silence.
Okay, moment of silence. We do know he was a standout football player.
Yeah. You know, David wouldn't let us know, but he did it on his Wednesday show, and we did it the day that he passed.
Okay.
There's a good article on the HBCU Game Day as well as HBCU Sports that made people go back in the archives a little bit. Many people had heard that he played football, but not everybody realized that he was a championship quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Championship.
Hey, wow.
In the CIAA.
Wow, being student body president.
Student body president. Transferred from University of Illinois to North Carolina A&T.
Yep.
So, and
he used to come to G-Ho.
I'm sorry I missed that session, but I saw that in a couple of
always appropriate to bring him up. It's good as he's become an ancestor. No problem with that. David, any final thoughts from you on the article?
You guys need to enjoy this basketball we're getting this weekend. Because it's starting to dwindle away, guys. Y'all better enjoy this basketball while we got it. Tournament time's coming, and the madness begins.
That's true.
That madness is coming.
And if you're not in the SWAC or SIC, you don't even have the promise of baseball. Obviously, Dave, you get celebrate a little bit of baseball as A&T does play in the CAA. With that being said, let me say thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. So we'll be back next week. Let me give a shout out to David joining us today, doing his thing. As you know, on Wednesday, he does the independent giving analysis on Tennessee State, Hampton, as well as North Carolina A&T. He does that with Brandon King to give you some updates and some others representing Hampton. So make sure you check that out, give them support. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, that's DrKenyatta Cavil, that's Threads, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook, Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big, continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Mike?
Of course.
David?
Lecture.
Dismiss.